As I first load into the world, I immediately grab some dark oak wood planks and cobblestone walls, which are located right next to them in the inventory, yet it took me way too long to grab both. After the absolute buffoonery that was attempting to grab things out of my inventory, I twirl around and build where I spawned anyway. Now in about 3 seconds, you're gonna see a jump cut. This jump cut happened because my phone fell, but I was just building the frame and started filling in like a quarter of the floor, so you didn't miss much, but soon you're gonna see that chicken. That chicken is going to be there throughout the majority of this build, so get ready to see more of him. Should have killed him right off the bat, but I didn't. In a few seconds here, you're gonna see me attempt to get this chicken into a hole from those seeds that I just got. It didn't work. He just kept walking around the hole, and I said, and I quote, "How is this chicken so smart?" It's not a smart chicken. After I finally finish filling in the floor, I grab some things for the kitchen, which include multiple different furnaces, a crafting table, and some barrels. As I'm placing these original items, nothing interesting happens, but after I put in these barrels, I decide, you know what this needs? Slabs. Now, I go into the inventory and I grab these oak slabs. Normally, someone would put these slabs underneath, but my geniusness decided, let me put it on top. So I put it on top and realize that doesn't look that good. So I decide I'll put some just over it. And it looked hideous. And I said, you know what? I'm not even gonna bother. So I left it. I just left it, and then I saw the chicken and I finally killed him. And I picked up his egg. So I go back into the inventory and I'm like, this house can't just have a kitchen. So after that, I go into the inventory and painstakingly look for more things to put in the house. I grab a light blue bed, which is my favorite color. So I have these light blue beds, and I go over and I place them in a corner, which is pretty standard for Minecraft. It's double beds, nothing too big. But I decide I want to put something next to them. So I go through and I look for something, and I just ended up picking beehives, which, frankly, look pretty good. And I decide I'm gonna put some flowers on them, like on end tables, because people do that. And so I just grabbed the flower pots painstakingly, and I shifted when I put them down because I forgot that beehives don't open. So I'm going through and I'm looking for the best flower that I know. A wither rose. So I placed the wither rose, which, for those of you who don't know, gives you the wither effect, which kills you. Now that it's night, I realize that my house is super dark, so I do what a lot of people do. I grabbed some carpets in the color of cyan to kind of match but not overload your senses with blue. So I grabbed those and I find some shroom lights. Normally people would use glowstone, but I just saw the shroom lights first. So I just broke the floor and put carpet on top of it, which frankly it did add light, but not enough. Realizing that the shroom lights themselves was not enough light, I said, let me add a small storage room. When I say small, I mean incredibly small. It was just 2 double chests, and I used it specifically as an excuse to place a regular torch. This time, I used the slabs correctly and put it underneath to make it look like a shelf, like you're supposed to when using slabs in this way. Someone should have told me that while I was placing the slabs for the barrels, because that didn't turn out well. Now that I've added a storage room, I decided, you know what, I'm gonna build this like a normal Minecraft house. So I grabbed an anvil after placing 2 lanterns on either end of both things in the kitchen. What am I supposed to call that? So I walk over, I look at the bed, and I just didn't add anything over there. I just looked at it, and looked for something that I could put in there, which frankly wasn't good. So I finally placed the anvil that I was talking about, and I grabbed the glow item frame to put an axe in next to it, because they added the glow squids, even though the Moobloom was obviously the better choice there. So I grabbed the netherite axe, just because it's expensive. Anyway, after that happened, I realized my house still didn't have a roof. So I said, I'm gonna do the normal stair roof that a lot of people use. I made it out of cobblestone to match the little corner accents that I did. So I just put it on, and I filled in the inside with cobble, as one normally does. You're gonna see another jump cut here soon, because it fell again, but I caught it, before everything happened this time, and finally put something in front of my phone so it wouldn't fall while I was recording. So, after I finally fill this in, I decided, you know what, I need to go back in the house. So, I went back in the house, and I just grabbed stuff for an enchantment table room. But first, I grabbed a brewing stand. So, I walk over in between where the anvil and the storage room is, which this house is way too small to be putting all of this in it. Anyway, I added an enchantment table, a brewing stand, and a lectern, but I forgot that the brewing stand would just go on the ground, so I had to put a block there, and I decided, you know what, more light, so I added another shroom light. So that was there, and I know that you need bookshelves to make a good enchantment table, but it's just a creative house and no one's gonna use it. So I decided that I was gonna click the bed, and I got in the bed, because you needed to know how to use it, apparently. Seeing as the corner of my house that had my bed in it was still fairly dark, I put some shroom lights underneath the bed, even though they were completely visible that way. But it worked, I guess, but it probably wasn't very necessary. I could have just put torches on the ground like any normal Minecraft player would. But that finished up the inside. So I go outside, and I grabbed the iron gates and did the flower bush thing that a lot of people do outside of the house. Painstakingly again, because I don't know where anything is. So I just did it evenly on both sides, because I could not look at it if it wasn't. It's Minecraft. It's one of the easiest games to get symmetry in. So I just did that and placed rose bushes inside because I thought it looked good. There's a horse there too. A lot of mobs are spawning around where the house is. It was probably just one of those areas, like plains or a sunflower field. So I misplaced one of the roses somehow. So I finally finished that up, and I realized the house didn't have any windows, so I went just above both rose bushes and just broke a 3-wide hole so it would go directly over both roses. So it worked pretty well. Just grabbed some black stained glass after going through all of the different shades to see which one would look best. So I finally placed them, and that's pretty much where the house ended up. That's it.